After spending 2 months in the beautiful country of Montenegro, we were off to a new country, Albania, and took a bus to the capital city, Tirana. After the normal admin of eating, shopping and getting SIM cards, we went on a walking tour of the city, exploring its communist history and bunkers, have our first traditional Albanian dining experience. The food is delicious, the people kind, the currency weak, and the country very, very underrated. It's 6 a.m. and we're on our way to the bus station to get a bus from Budva Montenegro to Albania, Tirana. We're going to a new country! Yay! We haven't been in a new country for like 2 months. We've been in Montenegro for 2 months, so very excited to see a new country. Very excited to divide by 7 instead of multiplying by 17 for the money. But excited for the next adventure. Woo! It's storming, it is thunder and lightning, so we're trying to get all our luggage to the car, but it is like storming and we have a 5-hour bus ride, so we don't want to be wet. My shoes are soaking and we are very wet, and we have like a 5-hour bus ride now in soaking shoes and soaking clothes. We've been at the bus station for an hour since 6:30 a.m. We've looked at every single bus that came in. I've asked everybody and none of the buses was going to Albania, and the guy said it's just delayed. And now it's like 20 minutes after the bus should have been here and they say the bus left. But we've literally been watching every single bus that came in. So now we have to buy new tickets. Luckily there's another bus with 2 spots on coming in 40 minutes.
The bus was never here, like we were checking every single bus.
I don't think it was here either. People here are very friendly. They said they will come call us when our bus is here. And they got a space on another bus that's leaving in 30 minutes. We are on a bus. Yay! This is going to Tirana. And we paid a bit extra for luggage, €2 per bag, which wasn't included, which is okay. We're on a bus. Now we just have to get through the border. At a bus station or a lot of other places, this is a toilet. You just squat. We got through the border. I don't know if we needed visas or not, but they didn't stamp our passports. And we made it to Tirana, Albania. So we made it to Tirana, Albania. Finally. We thought we were going to be at 12. It's like almost 4 o'clock.
The longest bus drive of the shortest kilometers in the world.
It's one road going down, so there's like so much traffic. It feels like we've gone back about 30 years back in time in Tirana. It feels like a little bit like Kiev, but even an older Kiev in Ukraine. It's like odd country, it's an odd place. There's like more public transport here than in Montenegro and North Macedonia. There's like buses, but there's like very fancy new cars, and then there's like old cars
of SUV Porsches just laying around like on the sides of the roads for sale. I don't know what it tastes like. I'm trying to figure out if it tastes like, it's like similar to like, I don't know, what Black Label used to taste like 10 years ago. How old am I? Hold on. Was I drinking then?
Probably. This is Jared's meal for 25 rand, cheeseburger and chips. This is like ridiculous what we've been paying. This is like amazing.
This was a beer. This cost a beer in Montenegro.
So I got a crepe with spinach and cheese, and I think it's like probably 18 rand.
Was it 18?
I think so. They were closed for 30 years. For 30 years they were under dictatorship, which ended like in 1990 something. You weren't allowed to exit the country at all. If you went out the border, they kill you or they put you like in a hard labor camp for the rest of your life. So when the country opened after 30 years, the people were like shocked. The one guy said he went to London and he was like, is this a different planet? And like people were always spying on you. They almost had like the...
As you can hear, Ilka had a lot of time on the bus.
Your friends and your family would like be spies, and like Jared can be like a spy and listening and then throw me in jail. Like everybody was, your family was spies. You don't know who's spies, who's not. So people were so on edge and nervous. And the country didn't progress because everybody earned the same money. But then some people also again say it was so nice because you would always have a job, you wouldn't have to worry, like healthcare was free, everything was free, but like...
You didn't have a choice to have healthcare or a job.
And like at night you came home and you spend time with your family, like you go to work, you come home, you spend time with your family.
Because you had a choice, at night you had to be home before a certain time to spend time with your family.
But like, in a way life was easy, but not easy either.
Cool.
Got a SIM card for 200 rand.
Is it 200 rand?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like
200 rand for 20 gigabytes, minutes, everything. The people here are so nice. The girl wrote down a bunch of places we should check out. Other guys sent me some pins to check out.
Albania is a country situated in the Balkans area of Europe, on the Adriatic and Ionian Seas, and borders Montenegro, Kosovo, North Macedonia, and Greece. It's a small country with 2.8 million people, but rich in culture and nature. We love traveling to lesser explored places and believe that no country should ever be invisible and no story go untold. This country has quite a complicated history over the last 70 years, and I do feel there is a lot of misconceptions around the country. You should definitely come visit it.
Biscuits! And it's so nice. I have like everything we need. So this is home for the next week. Has a very large entryway. It has a bathroom, washing machine, very important. It has a study, very big, a bedroom, living room area. The counters are very comfortable. Kitchen, microwave. We haven't had a microwave for 2 months. It's so nice to not have to heat food up on a pan, but in a microwave. And it has a dishwasher. Like, I mean, here's like half a house in the city center that's just like falling into itself. And their shops are open on a Sunday. Amazing. It's so nice to be able to get stuff that you need on a Sunday.
One of the first things I love to do when getting to a new country is go on a walking tour.
So 1/3 of the Albanian population is living in just one city. 4 years ago, the area in here used to be a roundabout. You know, a big circle with a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, a lot of noise. Initially, we decided to create a pedestrian area, an open space totally dedicated to walkers. No cars are allowed anymore, surrounded by green areas. If you pay attention, the whole square is surrounded by green areas. Now the project is quite special. Every single flower, tree, or stone tail, you see different stone tails in it? They're all coming from different regions of Albania. So somehow every single person who moved from another small town and now is living in Tirana, it's represented by something in the main square in here. You see all the yellow buildings around the main square? All these buildings are designed and built between 1920 to 1939. The Albanian politics during this time are dominated by a super smart politician. I consider this guy a genius, an absolute genius. His name is Ahmet Zogu. He starts as a minister, becomes the parliament to change the constitution, declare the country a monarchy, make himself a king. He ruled Albania for 11 years as King Zog I. Decided to ban religion. We became officially the first atheist country of the world. To have a religion in communist Albania was considered illegal. We had a law in our constitution that forbade religion. As smart people, 1 year later we started to destroy all the mosques and the churches. 80% of the beautiful mosques and churches of this country got completely destroyed.
Albania's dictator Hoxha was paranoid about an attack from the USSR or Yugoslavia. So he ordered a bunker to be built for every Albanian citizen. 175,000 bunkers were built, and none of them ever used.
Stalin again, very good. So we have two Stalins. The white one missing his nose, this is Enver Hoxha, the Albanian dictator. Now, if you never heard about him, I like to call him Mini Stalin. You know the movie Austin Powers, Me and Mini-Me? Here you have it, Me and Mini-Me. He does really exactly the same thing Stalin did in the Soviet Union, only that he did in here, in a much smaller country for 14 years. He formed a one-party system. So legally speaking, every 4 years we could go to elections, but we could vote for just one party to close the borders. Nobody's allowed to come in, nobody is allowed to leave the country. Practically, for the next 45 years, Albania will be transformed into a big prison. Yugoslavia, Albania was never a part of it. You have Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Kosovo. Tito really wanted Albania to become part as the 7th Republic, thing that would give to Tito total domination in the Western Balkans. But I guess Hoxha was really obsessed with power. He understands if he joins Yugoslavia, he had to split power with Tito. He could never accept that, so believe it or not, in 1948, when Tito and Stalin start to have problems with each other, when I say start to have problems, they start to send killers to kill each other. So we close the border with Yugoslavia, we accuse Tito for not being a real communist, our new best friend becomes the Soviet Union. But in 1953, Stalin dies. The new leader is Khrushchev. He starts to accuse Stalin for communist crimes. Hoxha is ruling in the same way, so accepting that Stalin did crimes was like actually accusing himself for crimes. He could never do that. So believe it or not, in 1963, this small tiny country called Albania left the Warsaw Pact and accused all Eastern Europe for not being real communist countries. Yes, we did that. We accused the Russians, the guy who invented communism, for not being real communists. After doing that, we are completely isolated. No friends, no partners. Albania and China hated the Soviet Union. Now China was looking for a European country to use as part of their propaganda. And geographically speaking, we are a European country, even if the rest of Europe had no idea that Albania existed, but still, European countries supporting China. Now, the people who grew up in the 70s in China, who came to my tour, they told me that in the 70s in China, they started to broadcast Albanian movies. You know, communist propaganda movies, movies that were produced here in Tirana, and the Chinese government would refer to those movies as European classicals. And yes, the professors were Chinese. So imagine a Chinese professor teaching Hamlet to an Albanian in English. Not the best quality, but we improved with the passing of the years, I guess. In 1978, Hoxha accused even China for not being a real communist country. In 1991, completely isolated. But as much as we were suffering, we had no connection with the outside world, we had no country to compare with. So we were suffering, but we thought that the others are suffering more than us. If you try to escape from Albania, you'd be shot in the borders. If you get cash, you'd be hanged on the middle of public square. If you go to freedom, collective punishment. And collective punishment didn't include just your family. 3 generations of your family. Your 3rd grade cousin, a person who never heard about you, will lose the opportunity to go to university or to have a good job during the communist times. He would be considered cousin of a traitor. They took away all our freedoms, they took away religion, they took away private property. 3,000 people sent to death penalty, 60,000 Albanians sent to prison camps. So for all these things put together, the Albanian communist regime is considered as one of the worst regimes of Eastern Europe. 1991, we start to open to the outside world. Who can guess the first Western product to come in here? We finally have, very good, Coca-Cola. Oh, my grandfather. My grandfather was quite unique. 75 years old when communism collapsed. So imagine the mess happening on his head. Every morning he would say to my father, "Man, please go and buy me some bananas. Man, not these ones. I want the red bananas." He meant Coca-Cola. But for him it was such a mess that everything that started to come after communism, so chocolate, chewing gum, bananas, Coca-Cola, everything was called a banana. Our leader never owned anything, like private properties. Everything he used was state property. The trick, only he could use them. He lived in this house from 1965 till 1985, till he died. And you know what's the biggest irony? That guy smiling, and the reflection of his smile goes directly to the living room of the communist leader's house. He's like, ha ha ha, you died, I won. Capitalism smiling at communism. So after communism collapsed, the family of Hoxha was removed from this house to another house. The house is state property. The state keeps it clean, but no use for it. I guess it's hard to make a decision. Lots of the people who are still living in here suffer during this time. So to make a decision on what to do with the house, it's like people see it as trying to glorify him. That's why it's hard.
So we just finished the walking tour always a good thing to do when you come to a city.
Yeah, it's cool to learn a bit about it.
Like the history and just get the layout of it. But it's like so fascinating. Like the country also has like the really nice parts and the not so nice parts. It's crazy to think what this place was like only 30 years ago. So they were literally saying like they don't have major hotels, they don't have major tourist stuff because...
Well, even though they say it's like the best hotel, they don't really have the best because everyone's still figuring it out and learning what like the best is or whatever.
They had to rebuild everything in the last 30 years. So we just got to this cute traditional restaurant and it's like a set menu with like traditional food.
I didn't even know like menu. He's like no menu. Yeah, just pick lamb or goat
or beef. So we've got some cheeses, salami and some eggs. This, which you don't know, and salad. Like a halloumi with a bit of a taste in. And this. They're kind of the same, but they're nice. There's some traditional pies with butter and...
No, it's just like butter and flour, it's just like...
This one is spinach. We're on our third course now. We thought there's only 3 courses, but we haven't gotten our meat. This is a pasta, that is a veggie. It's so good.
We don't know what we're having.
But we are kind of full. Taste it.
Taste it. It smells good.
We have been defeated. And it was like, how much? 650. It was like 580 rand for 4 meals, wine, water, everything. So we've been in Albania for a day now, in Tirana, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They have really good bus systems, so it's super easy to get around. There's like cafes and bars and really good food everywhere. There's like malls so you can like get everything you need. Yeah, it's super cheap. And the people are really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like Albania is like this hard place, the Albanian mafia, like it's hard, people stare at you. A few people have stared at us, but
only when the camera's out.
Yeah. But in general, like the people are very nice and it's much lighter than I thought it would be. And I think they did a really good job in the last 30 years of rebuilding it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, there's like electric scooters everywhere.
Well, I mean, lots of the communist buildings are like replaced into hotels or palaces or some sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's like generally pretty cool. Like, it's a cool place, it has a cool vibe.
Next week, we go visit the famous Bangkok bunker and explore what it was like living under the communist ruler and bunker life. We also head out for a night on the town. Albania has amazing restaurants and bars with superb quality and very, very affordable prices. We try some cocktails and eat some delicious food.